What do YouTube? This is your boy Diakis, and we're here to bring you a real wrestling presentation of our pay-per-view cards for the wrestling draft we had recently. And we're going to introduce these in the order of draft. So, if you don't mind.
Whitey first. Whitey Championship Wrestling.
Fuck the world for all it's worth. Every inch of planet Earth. Fuck myself. Don't leave me out. Don't corner me.
The Rage Incarnate with Gods of Wrestling, Inc.
I can make the whitest cracker rapper black as a panther. App is the answer. Radiate your backup dancers and the fans in the stands like I'm trying to kill cancer. Give me one clap. Now give me.
It's your boy Diakis, and I am. Let's be real here. One out of 268th part owner of Foreign Unification Championship Knockout Wrestling.
There's only one of me and too many of you fighting over nothing.
I'm Gohan. I'm one of the executives at Foolproof Wrestling.
This is the concept. I'm the owner and principal of Power Slam Wrestling.
Feed me. Feed me.
This is X-Dog, CEO of Factionex Inc., representing UCW, a Factionex company.
Look at him, look at him. You see the swag on that boy? Yeah. You see the swag on that boy? Yeah. Look at him, you see the swag on that boy?
All right, we'll go ahead and get the presentation of the draft cards underway.
First show for Whitey Championship Wrestling. We're just going to start off with the opening pyro, an intro to the commentators for the tournaments, for the beginning of tournaments for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, and of course the WCW United States Championship, our mid-card title. I'm so clever, aren't I?
Very.
And since we never mentioned commentators, I guess I won't be a dick and get Jim Ross.
He's already been drafted.
I know. That's what I was saying. I couldn't be a dick.
Yeah.
But anyway, our opening match will be Samoa Joe versus Umaga. It's the first round tournament for the world title.
Nice.
Samoa Joe wins with the Coquina Clutch after a hard-fought battle. I mean, you know, a lot of speed and a lot of power and a lot of kicks. Then Scott Steiner gets on the mic, talks about the amazing city of Atlanta, where the pay-per-view will be held. Of course, there probably will be a lot of white trash and redneck comments, because this is Steiner. Then will be the first round of the U.S. tournament between AJ Styles and Dolph Ziggler. AJ Styles will win with the calf killer.
Nice.
Next will be another match for the U.S. title tournament. Nigel McGuinness versus Bad News Barrett. Nigel will win with the Tower of London. Next will be a world tournament match. Rhino versus Austin. Austin will win via stunner. After barely dodging a gore or two. Next will be a world tournament match between Kenta and Chris Jericho. Kenta will win via GTS. Next will be another U.S. title match. Will be Carlito versus Mystico. Carlito wins with a backstabber. Next will be some Divas action between Kana, Caitlyn, and Madison. Kana will win via Kana lock to Madison. Next will be another U.S. title tournament match. Will be between Heath Slater and Enzo Amore. Heath will win via the sweetness. Next will be a Mark Henry versus Okada for the World Tournament. Henry will open up a Japanese wing of the Hall of Pain. And then for the final event will be another World Tournament round between Bobby Roode and Sting. Bobby Roode will win via the Roode Bomb. So far, we'll have 5 men in our World Tournament, which will be continued on to the next show, and 4 for the U.S. And next pay-per-view will have the 4 for the U.S. We'll have the U.S. crowned, and the world will have the final matchup at our third show.
I have one question.
What?
Before you, can you please tell Bobby Roode to change the name of his finisher? That is not a fucking bomb. Can you call it the Roode Breaker?
I know, right? But he's off the chain. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, good point there. All right. Thank you. Now we'll have the Gods of Wrestling.
Battle of the Gods, whoever I did not use for the matches afterwards, or in a dark match, Royal Rumble. So, just to list off a few of the people: Batista, Rey Mysterio, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, Sabu, and that's a few of them. So it's already gonna be hell.
He's gonna be jumping off tables. He's gonna be eliminating something from tables.
Then the participants of that match will be Lumberjacks in the first match of the night, which is going to be a 6-man tag match. The 6-man tornado tag match. In the ring, for one team, we're going to have the Pope, D'Angelo De Niro, Consequences Creed, and Biggie Langston. And they will be facing off against Tommy Dreamer, Ric Flair, and Corporate King. Basically, all hell is going to break loose, and just all the black superstars is going to stand in the ring. Okay.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, okay.
Like an opening match.
Next match is the Divas match. With Trish at ringside, it's going to be Mickey versus Gail. There will be no victor as the crowd is the two true winners of seeing all the tits and ass just gonna be hanging out.
Oh my god.
Okay, the next match is gonna be the tag team for the Gemini title belts. It's gonna be the Usos versus Dudleys. This will actually have a victor, in which the Dudleys implode because Devon said "fuck this" and the Usos and left Billy Ray, since he wanted to be Billy Badass in TNA, to fend for himself and get his ass kicked.
No, Billy Badass.
Bro, we don't need who the phrase. He's Billy.
Next match, Hulk Hogan versus John Cena. Hulk Hogan. This is just a regular match, but it's for their careers. Hulk Hogan will walk down the ramp when his entrance hits, and once it reaches I'm a Real American, John Cena will come out and beat him across the back of the head and complete a heel turn, in which he will go in the ring and put him in STF, choke him out. He will tap out, and then he will keep it locked in until he finally passes out, and medics must remove him from the ring. And for the main event, the final match of the night for the greatest one title belt, it'll be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson versus JBL. JBL gets jumped on his way to the ring by Biggie Langston, MVP, and Rey Mysterio. He will then get thrown in the ring, and it will be basically Rock will just hand his ass to him. After his victory, Rock says, "No, no, no. I'm not done with his candy ass." And we bring down the Hell in the Cell.
Oh my god! No!
Where he is bludgeoned. He puts up a fight on top of the ring till he eventually is thrown through the cage middle into the ring, where the Rock jumps down and gives him a people's elbow from the top of and with said pin, he will hold up the greatest one title at Can You Smell the Rock is Cooking. And that is the end of said pay-per-view.
Oh my God. Dude, I gotta give you, that was amazing. That's an amazing fucking card. Holy shit. Give you props, my
I get
nigga.
$9.99 to that.
Yeah.
I might even pay,
I'll pay full pay-per-view price to do that shit.
$12.99 for that.
I'll pay full pay-per-view for that, man. Shit. That is an amazing.
People's elbow.
The super, that is genius.
elbow.
I bet you right this dude on the top.
Okay.
Can't you do the pose and jump off?
I think it's gonna be hard for me to top that. Good lord, that was an amazing card.
I'm glad I
Hey,
went
watch it.
first.
That was an amazing card.
I can't top it.
I know I can't top
I'm
that.
glad I went first.
All right. For Foreign Unification Championship Knockout Wrestling, our first pay-per-view is called Emergence. It begins with Mike Quackenbush coming out and addressing the fans. He says, "Welcome all to an all-new promotion called Foreign Unification Championship Knockout Wrestling." He says that tonight all of the titles will be decided. He says, "Enjoy the show," and takes his seat next to the commentator, Ultra Mantis Black. By the way, they were in Philadelphia, and the promotion is planned to do like one show every month, pretty much, because we're pretty much going to be traveling around the world. All right, the first match is going to be a ladder match for the GYB titles, which is the tag titles. It's called GYB stands for Got Your Back, and it's going to be the Young Bucks versus the American Wolves in a ladder match. The American Wolves will win. They'll retrieve the titles. The next segment will be Roman Reigns, Jon Moxley, and CM Punk form a stable called ATF. Roman Reigns states he's changing his name to Anoa'i the Bounty Hunter. And their main goal is to take out any drug usage found in fuck wrestling. The second match will be for the Limitless title, which is pretty much the X Division. It's going to be the Sheik Abdul Bashir, Zack Sabre Jr., Jay Lethal, and Super Dragon. Super Dragon's going to win via a Avalanche Barry White driver, which then he wins the title and then he retires. Because he snapped his back. He snapped some shit up in his back. Alright, next segment will be the Great Muta cuts a promo in Japanese. Chono comes out and also Shinya Hashimoto, which is pretty much the Three Musketeers. And over the course of the next few months, they will do a series of triple threats to figure out who is the best of the Three Musketeers. The first match will take place not on this pay-per-view, but at the next pay-per-view, which will be called World on Fire. Alberto Del Rio, who changes his name to Alberto Del Calles, yes, Alberto of the streets, he arrives in a 2006 Bentley Continental, and upon arrival, he gets arrested by ATF and beat down. Del Calles says he's now a Mexican drug lord, and he breaks free from the from ATF. Then he calls him back up. The next match will be a 30-minute submission Iron Man match for the Fuck Wrestling Technician Championship. It will be Chris Benoit versus Michael Elgin. Chris Benoit will win. Actually, they'll go to a draw after 30 minutes, and Chris Benoit will win.
In overtime?
Yes. Yeah.
Shut up, man. No, you said
Nope.
Yeah,
No pun intended.
they'll go to overtime, and Chris Benoit will win via the crippler crossface, of course, with Canadian crossface. The next segment will be Del Calles meets up with his people: Thumbtack Jack, Wife Beater, and Necro Butcher. They call themselves the Defection, and these are a bunch of CZW guys that defected over from CZW to join up to make his stable or whatever. I haven't came up with a name for the Women's Championship, so I just call it the Women's Championship. The Women's Championship will be a Battle Royal four-way, pretty much. There will be only pin submissions and KOs. None of that sissy ass. Knock a nigga over the top rope. No.
So it's a four-way.
And it's gonna be elimination. So
yeah.
It's gonna be between Sweet Saraya, Mia Yim, my bad, Sarah Del Rey, and Jessica Havoc. Mia Yim will win via package pile driver on Jessica Havoc. The next segment will be the defection. The defection will jump ATF. CM Punk and Alberto Del Calles will fight to the ring, and luckily their match is next, so they fight all the way to the ring and they spill into the ring. For the best in the world tournament, which is for the best in the world championship, there will be 3 rounds. First round, second round, and finals. First match will be CM Punk versus Alberto Del Rio. CM Punk will win via Anaconda Vice. Tornado versus Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley will win by Dirty Deeds. Mitsuharu Musawa versus Kenta Kobashi. Kenta Kobashi will win via Orange Crush. Bryan Danielson versus Hiroyoshi Tenzan, and Hiroyoshi Tenzan will win by Anaconda Max. Second round will be CM Punk versus Hiroyoshi Tenzan, so it's pretty much the guy that uses the Anaconda Vice versus the guy that invented the Anaconda Vice. And CM Punk will go over by GTS and shenanigans, doing the Roman Reigns jumping off the top rope and delivering a Superman punch. Yes, I know. The real Superman. Yeah, the real Superman. He came out of nowhere. Kenta Kobashi versus Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley gets jumped before the match by the defection again, so it's pretty much in the finals. It's going to be CM Punk versus Kenta Kobashi, and due to shenanigans again, CM Punk is your first best in the world champion. CM Punk wins the first championship, but is ambushed by Del Calles and the defection. Del Calles and the defection destroy the belt and the trophy with a sledgehammer. ATF finally come in to make the save, where CM Punk is seen clutching the remnants of his belt and his trophy as the show goes off. And that's the first pay-per-view. I know it sort of sucked, but I don't care. Wow, massive, dude.
Yeah, how long is yours?
It's going to be 4 hours.
Okay.
Hey.
I'm saying 3, so...
Okay.
I might as well give them a show they can remember.
All right. Foolproof Wrestling presents their first pay-per-view, Bulletproof. The show starts off with Jim Ross coming to the ring announcing the World Championship match, the FPW Championship match between Owen Hart and Kurt Angle. He is then interrupted by The Proof, who's decided that he has already handpicked who the world champion will be. Then Brock Lesnar music hits. Brock Lesnar walks to the ring and The Proof awards Brock Lesnar as the first FPW champion. Owen Hart and Kurt Angle are both pissed. Jim Ross announced that their match will now become a number 1 contender match, and that will be the main event for the show. The next match is for the FPW 15 Championship, which is an Iron Man match. Whoever gets the most falls in 15 minutes wins. Nice. And it would be between Sami Zayn and Prince Devitt. The match ends in a draw. They put on a classic. It ends in a draw. We still have no 15 champion. The next match is a filler match between Bo Dallas and EC3. EC3 wins. Because Bo Dallas didn't leave enough. The next match was supposed to be Christian versus Jeff Jarrett. But Jeff Jarrett ambushes Christian with a guitar before the match starts because he pissed him off at the backstage. The next match would be for the FPW IC Championship, which will be the featured championship because the FPW Championship will only be defended every 3 months. And this match will be between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is your victor by roll-up and grabbing the tights. The next match is for the FPW Tag Team Championship between Red Dragon and Bad Influence. Red Dragon wins the championship via Chasing the Dragon. And the next match is an open challenge match. Tyler Breeze issues an open challenge to anybody on the roster. Eddie Guerrero accepts. Eddie Guerrero wins via the frog splash. Next match, Rob Van Dam versus Bray Wyatt with Luke Harper and Eric Rowan at ringside. Rob Van Dam wins, but gets jumped by the Wyatt family after the match. When they do the follow the brother up chain, and then, you know, that little thing that always happen at the end of it.
They didn't want to roll one.
They're not that kind of family.
All right, now it's the main event time between Owen Hart and Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle is accompanied by Stephanie McMahon. Owen Hart and Kurt Angle puts on the classic. Owen Hart wins via the sharpshooter, but then he is jumped by Brock Lesnar. Stephanie then cuts a promo and says that Brock Lesnar will be working for her. And this sets up the main event for the next pay-per-view, which would be Owen Hart versus Brock Lesnar. That's the end of it.
For the Paradox pay-per-view, Vince Russo names Vicky Guerrero the GM.
Oh, Jesus.
There are also no titles on the line this pay-per-view because none have been issued or created because Vince Russo was watching over the writers and he saw them doing well and he told them, no, we can't have title defenses. We'll save that for the next pay-per-view.
Wow, that's kind of meta. Oh, they're only props to him anyway.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Oh, shit.
All right, for my first match of the night, it would be a regular match between Cheeseburger and Taka Michinoku. Cheeseburger's goal in this match is to complete one suplex. So Vince Russo told GM Vicky Guerrero to put him in this match because Taka Michinoku is not that much heavier than he is. Eventually, throughout the match, they go back and forth. As Cheeseburger is about to finally execute a suplex, Matt Morgan interferes, and he gives both of them a carbon footprint. Then they give him a mic, and he exclaims that the reason he gave them the carbon footprint is because they're genetically inadequate. And two people that small do not belong in the ring. If you can't execute a suplex, why are you wrestling? Then he leaves. My second match of the night is the first Divas match. It's Paige versus Taryn Terrell in a regular match. Paige goes over via PTO. Nothing special happens after that. Third match is the Vaudevillains versus Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel in a tag team match, a regular tag team match. Gabriel and Kidd lose this match to the Vaudevillains because of infighting between the two. So Kidd kicks Gabriel in the head and beats him up. And then he hits the springboard elbow drop he used to have as a finisher. My fourth match is Randy Orton versus Roderick Strong in the normal match. Both are counted out, so it ends at a double count out due to them having huge egos, and neither one of them wanted to get back in the ring. So match number 5 is Zandig versus Mick Foley in a no-rope barbed wire match.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lord.
Mick Foley will win the match after interference on his part from, what do I have written down? From Steve Corino.
Steve Corino does a flapjack on Zandig into the barbed wire rope. And then Mick Foley finishes him with the double underhook DDT. Match number 6 on my card is AJ versus Natalya. AJ wins via Black Widow. Match number 7 on the card is Neville versus Sandow versus Sonata in the triple threat steel cage match, escape only. Sandow, who is tired of getting buried, he wins the match after he constantly throws Sonata and Neville into the cage over and over. In what was supposed to be a match, Chavo versus Ruckus, Chavo delivers a backstage promo disparaging Ruckus. Ruckus hears about it, and they beat each other so bad that they can't have the match, so they cancel it.
All you do is you lazy ass niggas get housed now. I was like, oh shit. That's so great.
I like that card fidget the same line.
I told you it's Paradox Wrestling. Nothing is what you think. Next match, I wrote down on my paper it was going to be a normal match, but since I own the company, I'm changing it to a shovel on the pole match.
He's taking advantage of the Russo DM.
Shovel on a pole?
You gotta hear the participants first.
The burial champion.
Triple H versus Kevin Steen. And what happens is the shovel falls off the pole, so the ref tries to connect it. And while the ref, after a grueling back and forth match, while the ref is trying to connect it back to the pole, Triple H low blows Steen and grabs the sledgehammer and hits him in the head with it. Then he climbs up, gets the shovel, and proceeds to hit him in the back with it 3 times, thus completing the burial. And he pins him for the 3 count.
That sounds like a Russo original.
He literally buried that nigga.
Also, I forgot to mention during the Damien Sandow match, Sandow did not only win by constantly smashing his opponents into the cage, Zeb Coulter was his manager, and he realized that the other 2 were about to escape, so he tossed the chair into Sandow, and that also allowed Sandow to clip the other's legs while they were trying to climb the cage. All right, for my final match on the card is Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg, with Paul Heyman managing Lashley in a Falls Count Anywhere match. In a brutal match that stays outside the ring most of the time, Paul Heyman goes and grabs the cinder blocks that Kane has hidden, that Kane has had hidden from Raw's past. They decide, but since this is Russo's show, he decided to go follow them wherever Raw was held, and he stole it. He stole the blocks, and Paul Heyman cracks Goldberg in the back of the head with one. And Bobby Lashley spears him through a barricade to win the match in the 3 count. And that sums up the card for Paradox Wrestling. It was very confusing because, as I said before, Russo.
Mine is too. Well, the X-Dog here has to applaud the other GMs for putting on amazing shows, especially the Gods of Wrestling.
After watching Battle of the Gods, I don't know about you. I know, man. I mean, Hogan got stretched out.
And the mega people's elbow.
Oh my god.
But so to kick off UCW, the X-Dog's first venture on his own wrestling company. UCW kicks off with Mean Gene Oakland announcing UCW Valhalla and a long amazing card tonight. He's also interrupted by The Miz. And The Miz goes into one of his delusional promos, apparently think he's in the main event tonight, which he finds out, no, he's there for the mid-card title for tonight, and he storms off. So to kick out the pre-show match, Goldust starts off against Juice and Thunder Liger with a quick match to get the fans going. Eventually, Goldust botches a move, and Juice ends up injuring him in the process and wins the match after 15 minutes. Well,
sorry to bother you, but after you're done announcing your card, I have an announcement to make on what happened between Chavo. There's some backstage news that got out. What happened between Chavo and Rojo.
Then next up, the announced team comes up discussing the ownership that we decided to have manage the company while X-Dog is not around, the Wu-Tang Clan. This goes on 5 minutes until we get ready to start our first hour of the show. And once again, to kick it off fast, fatal four-way match between Nego Costas, Kofi Kingston, Ultimo Guerrero, and Archangel De La Muerte. This match goes back and forth. You know, the regular fatal four-way match. Eventually, some tables get involved, but the ref allows it.
I'll allow it.
Kofi Kingston gets an amazing spot, and Kofi wins by pinfall after 15 minutes. So after that, we go backstage with Abyss back in the bowels of the arena. And eventually, while he's back there, he bumps into Vader. And then they have a stare down. They have a stare down backstage, which leads into the no DQ match, which starts backstage. Vader and Abyss up here face their way back from backstage, and they eventually make it to the front, where Abyss unfortunately gets Vader bumped. And then Abyss kicks out of that, but outside the ring, the announce table comes into play, and Vader hits the moonsault from the top rope through the announce table. And Vader pins him after a 10-minute match between two big men. But while the match was going on, as it was ending, cut to another backstage promo. The Kings of Wrestling are back with Mean Gene Okerlund, discussing their later tag team title match against the Outsiders. Holly Nash were awarded the titles earlier due to some payment from HBK. So HBK allowed them to become tag team champions, but they had to defend their titles tonight. And while the Kings of Wrestling were giving their promo, Holly Nash decided to interfere, and they ended up fighting the Kings of Wrestling backstage. Security were called after this beating. This took 10 minutes of our time out the show. So after that, we cut to the UCW TV title match. The Miz versus Chris Masters, who we signed out of free agency. Unfortunately to The Miz, some BS and him messing up a move and Maurice botching. Chris Masters wins after a 20-minute match between him and The Miz. So,
Quick question. Is Chris Masters wearing a sombrero?
No. Hour two kicks off with the Wu-Tang Clan coming out. They lead into a 15-minute promo discussing their plans for the show and also giving the crowd some stock advice for the show. And they lead into the women's title match, which will be China versus Karma.
So they were Susie Orman right there?
She gives out financial advice. So China and Karma go back for a match between two women. It involves a whole lot of power moves. They're going back and forth for 15 minutes. Eventually, Karma gets out of China attempting a pedigree, which leads into the Karma bomb. She retains at the 15-minute match, which after she wins this hard-fought match, Maurice interferes in Karma's victory, which results in her actually getting the better of Karma, hitting her with that kick. I forgot the name of it. The French kiss. And she holds the title before dropping it on Karma and leaving. And then we get ready for the Intercontinental title match, which Austin Aries interrupts Mean Gene Okerlund for announcing it. And he has some choice words for his opponent, Edge, in the match. Edge responds to this, and so we go down the ringside. Edge and Austin Aries fights in a regular match. Eventually, Austin Aries low blows Edge while the referee was not looking and wins by a schoolboy. After 15 minutes. Hour 3. We cut to hour 3. The Kings of Wrestling comes out, clearly injured, versus the Outsiders. However, though, Claudio Castagnoli starts coming back against Scott Hall, who I think might be drunk at this event. Hey, it's true. It's damn true. But Vince McMahon tries to interfere in this match to stop the Kings of Wrestling from winning, but fortunately, Taz prevents this from occurring, and the Kings of Wrestling wins this match and becomes the tag team title holders for Valhalla. And HNIC comes out with a promo after this match. They're introduced for GCW Monday Night Melee. He introduces the HNIC Invitational Ladder Match, which basically the winner of this match wins the ladder match, and they have a chance at any time to challenge any champion for their title. So any champion, while that person holds this invitational, basically they have to defend their title 24/7. So anytime anytime that person decides to cash in, they must defend their title then and there.
So it's like a mega Money in the Bank?
Exactly.
Nice.
It's Money in the Bank on steroids. So after that, he announces for a world title match, the UCW World Title, which is an international title match, and we have Booker T, Rusev, Ryback, Great Khali, and Sheamus in the first match of this. After 20 minutes of this match, Booker T gets eliminated. He was the first man eliminated. Wait. Yes.
Question: was Rusev the one that eliminated Booker T?
No, he wasn't.
Wow.
Great Khali eliminated Booker T. I was getting to that. Great Khali eliminated Booker T. Once everybody realized this is a beast, Great Khali, Rusev, Ryback, and Sheamus jumps Great Khali. After being chopped down by Rusev, Sheamus hits Great Khali from his knees with a bro kick and eliminates him. Sheamus, while busy showboating after the pin, gets shell shot by Ryback. And Ryback eliminates Sheamus. And then just Sheamus and Rusev. And this ends the match with Rusev eventually locking Ryback in the accolade and knocking him out. So Rusev wins. And on Monday Night Melee, he will be awarded by Vladimir Putin the UCW World Title.
Question: how did you get Putin? I thought he was difficult to book.
He was trying to highlight Lana.
The HNIC is very, very, very good at negotiating.
And he probably won the Smash Lana. Or Mother Russia.
Speaking of Lana, we need to have a negotiating with Foolproof Wrestling. Vladimir Putin costs too much to have show up. Vince McMahon pissed off at the fact that Taz interfered, had an impromptu match with his bodyguard versus Taz. So the next match out of nowhere is Heidenreich versus Taz with Vince McMahon at ringside. Vince McMahon interferes in his match and causes Taz to win by DQ, and Taz is viciously attacked by Heidenreich and Vince McMahon after the match. And finally in the show, which is now, if I'm timing this correctly, is 3 hours and 30 minutes into it, is a last man standing match for the UCW heavyweight title, HBK versus The Undertaker. At a long back and forth brutal match, a bloody HBK is tombstone through the remaining announce table.
This is not WrestleMania.
this is the WrestleMania for us. This is why I call it Valhalla.
Undertaker's got his powers.
He has his powers.
And HBK is unable to get up. The Undertaker wins after 30 minutes. The lights go out, and the Undertaker just leaves with no response. But that's it for Valhalla. And just a quick thing for the Monday night, because it ties into this. I don't want to leave any loose ends. The beginning of Monday Night Melee, Rusev comes out with Vladimir Putin eventually coming to the ring. He is awarded the title and the Medal of Honor by Vladimir Putin. However, Heidenreich interferes with Vince McMahon. And Heidenreich unfortunately receives the accolade in front of Vladimir Putin. So Germany lost to Russia again. HNIC comes out while Heidenreich is still laid out, but fortunately Vince McMahon's away. HNIC announces the main event. Rusev will face Heidenreich in a non-title match. After this promo ends, Karma joins the announce team. Karma joins the announce team. China and Maurice has a no one contender match. After 10 minutes, Maurice wins this match. And eventually, Karma and Maurice have a stare down, which China tries to sucker punch Karma, and she receives yet another Karma bomb. And Chris Masters shows up, have a promo with his TV title. Ryback arrives to challenge him for the TV title. Chris Masters wins through interference by Vince McMahon and retains by disqualification.
Vinnie Mac is busy.
Vince McMahon group is him, Heidenreich, and Chris Masters. Okay. Austin Aries have a promo via satellite versus Edge. They have a back and forth promo, which takes 15 minutes. HBK comes out, obviously hobbled and pissed off that he lost his match to The Undertaker. Unfortunately for him, Great Khali interrupts his promo. And after 10 minutes of devastation, the Great Khali wins by just knocking HBK completely out. HBK is carted out to the hospital. We don't know what happened to him.
He's dead. Magic killed him.
And the next match is not even worth mentioning because it's Karma versus a jobber. She squashes her opponent in 3 minutes. She delivers a 7-minute pipe bomb to China about her being a man. and Maurice's figure. And how basically there's no real women to fight in this company. How all of them left for other GMs, so they had to avoid her. And HNIC announces the invitational for Friday Night Brawl. So then we say the dead match of the night before the main event, the Lucha Libre Battle Royal, which now they are finally going to get a title. So the elimination match between all the Lucha Libres plus Kofi Kingston. The finalists will be the number one contenders for the match. The winner determines the type of match. Kofi Kingston wins this match. Announces a last man standing TLC match. And his opponent will be Ultimo Guerrero. Kings Wrestling delivered their promo, and then we go into Heidenreich versus Rusev, which Rusev wins in 20 minutes. Unfortunately, his victory is short-lived as Rusev is jumped by Heidenreich, Chris Masters, and Vince McMahon. And unfortunately, Vladimir Putin gets injured in this brawl. And that's how we end the show with Vladimir Putin laid out in the ring.
Boy, that's good.
And of course, Friday Night Brawl will be in Chicago, home of President Obama. Spoiler alert.
I have some news to report. PW Insider has revealed that Vince Russo saw that the reason Ruckus and Chavo Guerrero had a fight backstage is because Vince Russo was observing the writers, and he saw that they were doing a good thing. They were doing good things, as in they were, planning this match in the direction where it would give the fans the best match possible. Vince Russo oversaw that, waited till they left, took the papers and burned them. And when the writers came back the next day and asked Russo what happened to the scripts, he said, "I did it as a time as a time-saving measure. The concept is now. It has been reported that the concept is now reviewing Russo's. What's the word? Not credentials, but his future with the company and his mental capacity.
And UCW would like also to announce that for Friday night Brawl, our contract signing is being complete. Like I said, unlike people who use iCloud, we make sure our spoilers don't get out. So David Otunga, Hudson, and Crime Time have been signed. Their assignments, however, are unknown at the moment, but they are signed. Mean Street Posse, look up on them. They're in hospital. They're doing well. They're in critical but stable condition. They didn't leave the premises. And Goldust has been released.
I got one last thing. I have an update on the Super Dragon injury / win. I don't know if they can call it a win because he got critically injured. It is official that he is retiring from in-ring work, but he decides he will be a referee from now on. So yes, he's gonna come to the ring. He's gonna come to the ring in all of his gear, and he's gonna be a referee. One last announcement. Alberto Del Calles has stated before, and he will state again, he is not, for the last time, a drug dealer. He is not a drug lord. Even though he has changed his name, he drives these fancy cars, and he lives in these nice mansions, he is not a drug dealer. Thank you.
Scott Steiner had an announcement for everybody. Samoa Joe is fat.
Anybody have any other announcements to make?
I got another one. Oh, Lord. Samoa Joe also had this to say to Scott Steiner. He could have killed you when he had the chance. Remember that. And Steiner had another message. Oh my God. Everyone else are his bitches. And he's a genetic freak. And all the divas better get in line and take their clothes off. Except Karma.
I guess. Does anybody have anything else to announce or they want to announce? That's it? All right, that concludes our first pay-per-view analysis or presentation of the draft cards. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.